Good morning. Welcome to Market Mashup, our weekly recap of financial markets and what we have on tap this week that could impact both stocks and bond markets. I'm Scott Naska, President of Generation Capital Management. Little give back last week in the markets as the Dow was down 1.40%, S&P was down 3.3%, and the NASDAQ was down 5.6%. So we've had a few up weeks, and the market decided to, pare a little back. Last week, we talked about the big news coming out with the Federal Reserve. They did raise interest rates 0.75%, which was expected. And then we had a little, a little back and forth in terms of the language from the release and then Fed Chair Powell's news conference. So there was a little contradiction, I think, or at least confusion in terms of some of the directions that came from the minutes versus his Q&A discussions where, he was still pretty forceful on maintaining the desire to get inflation down with whatever it takes. So, I think the markets were just a little confused at that and just had to recalibrate a little bit. And we saw, especially on that day, after the minutes were released, the markets had shot up a lot. And then once you had the questions and answers, it dropped, so we had probably 500 or 600 point swings. So a little uncertainty there. The markets, like I said, don't like uncertainty. So we're moving ahead. And I think as we see more data coming out this quarter, more Fed speak coming out that, get a better understanding in terms of where everything is going to be. But they are still forecasting another raise in December. Question is it going to be 50 or 75 basis points or 25? So the higher you go, the markets probably will sell off if it does tend to be a 75 versus a 50 or 25. So, keep an eye on that. Just a couple points I want to mention on the bonds, because I do talk about watching the bond market. 2-year yield is at 4.7. The 10-year yield is at 4.15%. So we still see a pretty sizable inversion taking place, which usually leads to a slowdown or a recession in the market. So, like I said, keep an eye on the yield curve. That's been, pretty good indicator all year long. News this week, obviously the election tomorrow is going to take center stage early this week as, get an understanding and see if there's going to be any dynamic changes to the structure of power right now in Congress. Their consensus is that the Republicans, could take the House of Representatives, and the Senate's a toss-up right now. So we're seeing a lot of numbers back and forth on that. And there's a good chance that, come Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning or even into Wednesday, we may not know the structure of some of these races. So that could still leave some uncertainty in terms of the, who's in control next year in terms of, the Senate and the House. So could see a little volatility that with that taking place, especially if there is some uncertainty there. Pay attention to Thursday. The CPI number comes out. Like I said, that's the big number this week that the Fed's going to be watching and the market's going to be paying attention to as well, especially since Fed Chair Powell did mention, inflation. When you got to get a handle on inflation, well, this is the big number that comes out. So, and it's the one that they cite, the one that they look at. So, keep an eye out, see if that, they're seeing any signs of slowing, especially on a year-over-year, month-over-month basis. So we want to pay attention to the CPI. We also have University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment coming out on Friday. That'll give just an overview in terms of what the consumer is doing, especially getting into the holiday season now. See if there's any changes in their spending habits. So we want to pay attention to that as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can look at our website, www.capmgmt.com. Please feel free to email me, snaska@gencapmgmt.com too. Like I said, we have, continuous with blogs or investment updates. Happy to take a look at your portfolios. If you have any questions for any people that are maybe looking to get a second opinion, be happy to take advantage and take a look at your portfolios there. Just provide some advice or, in terms of outlining what the risks are and, just see if it makes sense with your time horizon, your goals and objectives. So our team is ready. Please feel free to either email us or call us. Be glad to help out any way we can. Once again, my name is Scott Naska, President of Generation Capital Management. This is Market Mashup. Have a great week.